When you think about rides themed after action movies, it should be an easy correlation between what happened on screen and what the ride should be. Fun, fast, exciting, action-packed, and thrilling. Except of course you Fast and Furious Supercharged. You are none of those.
Turn down for what?
Luckily, this roller coaster ticked off a few of those action tropes. Based around a movie featuring high-speed chases, thrilling heists, comedy, and an ensemble of stars, the ride would of course be themed to the movie The Italian Job.
Can we go, please?
Right, got that. Action!
First, let me introduce you to the team.
That was quick.
Where are they?
We're a little early. I didn't expect us to get here quite that fast.
There, that is Dave Cobb. You know Cobb as the guy who created the iconic Men in Black alien attack at Universal Studios Florida, as well as being senior creative director of Paramount Parks at the time. Rumour has it that he also worked on Borg Invasion 4D and many other incredible themed attractions. At least, that is what is reported. So, who else do we have on the team? Right on time, that there is Premier Rides, pros at creating theme park attractions, known for Flight of Fear, Mr. Freeze, as well as The Mummy. It is reported they also created the world's first launched roller coaster to feature linear induction motors. They would also be the team behind the new Italian Job coaster. Together, and we have the perfect team to create the Italian Job Stunt Track. The Italian Job remake was released on May 30th, 2003 and distributed by Paramount Studios. It grossed $176 million worldwide and received generally favourable reviews from critics. You may think that a movie on this scale didn't warrant an entire ride themed after it, but in those days, at Paramount's parks, it was part of advertising to attach a movie of a roller coaster to a ride with a light theme. If you have not seen the 2003 film, the plot follows a crew of thieves fronted by Mark Wahlberg, who plan to steal gold from a former associate, Edward Norton. The movie would have very little to do with the original, with only 18 minutes of it set in Italy. The only things that remained were the characters' names and the minis. This new film would be much more action orientated, and the finale would involve a chase scene featuring 3 Mini Coopers and a helicopter. It would be the ending of the movie that would be the basis for the ride. On August 12, 2004, over a year after the film's release date, it was announced that the Italian Job Stunt Track will be coming to Kings Island and Canada's Wonderland. At both parks, the ride would be near enough the exact same. At Canada's Wonderland, Mini Coopers will be seen driving around the International Street to mark the occasion. The roller coaster was pitched to Paramount executives in April of 2004, with spliced together parts of the movie and early concept art created in No Limits, a roller coaster simulation software. At Kings Island, the ride would be replacing the Antique Cars ride in the Rivertown section of the park. Antique Cars had opened in 1972 and gave its final ride on August 16, 2004, just a few days after the Italian Job was announced. 14 years later to the day, in August 2018, Kings Island announced that the Antique Cars will be back in the Coney Mall section of the park, reopening as a new ride in 2019. At Canada's Wonderland, the ride will be located in the Action Zone section of the park. With an opening date set of May 1st, 2005 at Canada's Wonderland and May 20th at Kings Island, the Italian Job would join the list of esteemed action movies to have a ride at Kings Island, alongside Top Gun, Tomb Raider, and of course, Face Off. The ride would be Canada's Wonderland's largest investment at the time, costing $15 million, and it would also celebrate the park's 25th anniversary. $15 million would be nearly half of the $27 million the team would steal in the movie, and quite a bit more than the $4 million that they stole in the original Italian Job.
2.7 million.
What?
No, it's 27. That's 27 million. It's $27 million worth of gold.
For the remainder of the season, an information center was set up at the park for the new ride, detailing artwork and animations for the new coaster, as well as a real Mini Cooper for a short time. The ride's announcement boasted that the Italian Job would feature 2 launches, have working headlights and sound systems in each Mini Cooper themed car. It would have the ability for the cars to fishtail around corners, and the ride would have fire and water effects, along with featuring a helicopter. The coaster would be family friendly, but still action packed. The announcement stated that drivers would twist through a parking garage, dodge near collisions, race down stairs, chase through tunnels, and narrowly escape massive explosions triggered by gunfire from a menacing helicopter. Tires would skid out one last time as the stunt cars crash through a billboard and splash down into an LA aqueduct, concluding the chase sequence and their trial as a stunt driver in this screen test. In January of 2005, Kings Island hosted a construction tour of the new ride as a thank you to the park's fans. A very snowy winter had delayed construction slightly, but the ride's track was on site. This track was changed from the initially advertised bright yellow to a dark grey as to not distract from other elements of the ride. They also mentioned that the ride would be having technical rehearsals at the end of April into May before the grand opening. The roller coaster itself would feature 3 LIM boosts, reaching speeds of 40 miles per hour in 3 seconds, along with heights of 45 feet over 600 meters of track. There would be no inversions, which really solidified the fact that this was a family thrill coaster. There would be 3 trains on the track, each featuring 3 separate cars, seating 2 rows of 2 people for 12 in total. They were to be designed after the Mini Cooper S model from the movie, with BMW collaborating on the project to make the 3/4 scale ride cars as realistic as possible, complete with headlights, working opening doors to the vehicle, and painted in either blue, red, or white. Each car would also have audio and a sound system to simulate the rumbling of the car. A single lap bar would be the restraint for the coaster. Although Premier designed the rides, the train sculpts of the Mini Cooper S were done by S&S in Utah, alongside a chief designer from BMW.
Is anyone here ready to become a Hollywood stunt driver? Is this not working? Is the mic not on? Is it not working?
The Italian Job Stunt Track opened for previews at Kings Island on April 29, 2005, with the grand opening set for May 20th. On May 19th, a media event was held, chauffeuring the invited guests from the front of the park to the new coaster in a limo. Upon arrival, skydivers featuring flags of the new ride parachuted from the skies, and Paramount's Parks Marketing and Communications Director, Jeffrey Sieber, emerged from the trunk of a Mini Cooper that had just taken part in a mini chase sequence driven by stunt drivers from the Italian Job. Upon emerging, he threw fake money out the back of the car. Yes, this really happened.
Who is ready for the Italian Job Stunt Track? It is with our greatest pleasure that Paramount Pictures, Paramount Parks, in conjunction with Paramount's Kings Island, are proud to present the best of Hollywood entertainment now playing. Ladies and gentlemen, the Italian Job Stunt Track.
The mayor of Mason, Ohio was also on hand with a speech and declared Thursday, May 19th, 2005 as the Italian Job Stunt Track Day. A day I still celebrate every single year.
Look, don't kid yourself, all right? We're all emotional on this one. Let's go. Are you ready?
Uncle Sam.
After some brief fireworks, the ride was declared open for the media to enjoy. The ride's queue goes alongside the final drop out of the billboard into the LA sewer, and next to a splashdown effect which offers a great view of the ride. The ride's storyline tries to emulate that finale scene from The Italian Job, involving the helicopter, and you were a stunt driver trying to get the perfect shot. The director of the shot warns that you need to get this one in one take, and to keep your head back and arms in the vehicle at all times. This voice was none other than Dave Cobb himself.
Stunt team, listen up. Please enter the seat directly in front of you. As with any driving stunt, safety first. Once seated, please pull back on your lap bar, keeping both legs inside the lap bar and feet under the orange padded foot bar. To stay seated, keep your head against the headrest and your hands and arms inside the vehicle at all times.
Throughout the ride, you would hear a variety of crew voices such as a cameraman and the helicopter pilot. These are all also Dave Cobb, just with a different pitch. The ride then launches out of the station at 40 miles per hour into the parking garage, which is a double helix upwards. The train then drops from the top of the garage into a street, lined with highway signs and 3 police cars, each with sirens and lights flashing. Riders swerve between the police cars before an overbank turn at 88 degrees, followed by going down a set of subway stairs. The designers of the ride wanted to put in a physical thumping feel when the train was going down the stairs, but it ended up becoming too challenging. Instead, they had subwoofer speakers attached under the seats of the riders. This level of detail was rarely seen at the time outside of Universal and Disney, and was the first coaster to have onboard audio at a regional park. After the stairs, the trains then came to a halt in front of a tunnel. A helicopter rose to the train's left, shooting simulated gunfire, while chase music from the movies can be heard. The gunfire cracked pipes and barrels surrounding the train and sprayed riders with gasoline. It was actually just water though, of course. The second round of gunfire ignites where the gasoline barrels are, catching on fire before a gas tank explodes. The heat of the explosion can be felt before the train is then launched again into the tunnel, twisting and dropping before coming out of the broken billboard, splashing down in an LA aqueduct featuring a water splash before turning into the ride station.
And cut! Awesome! Great job, folks! Excellent! Brilliant! When your vehicle has come to a complete stop, please push up on your lap bar, gather all loose articles, and exit to your left. And enjoy the rest of your day.
The fishtail effect or drifting that was announced coming with the ride would allow the cars to sway around corners, but was very subtle. It was only a few inches of movement either side and was rarely even noticed. This element was only included on the Kings Island version and dropped for further versions of the ride. The ride would last about 64 seconds from start to end and featured 2 boosts. This was the first time Kings Island and Canada's Wonderland had really tried to theme a roller coaster, and it was done well. The reception from the coaster fans though was mixed. It was a fun ride and themed to a good standard, but the ride was really short. It was however a good starting point for younger thrill seekers, though the 40 miles per hour boost felt a lot faster than it actually was. Some riders expecting a pure thrill coaster were left a little underwhelmed. Others though appreciated the heavy theming, fun experience that could be enjoyed by almost everyone. Following the opening of the 2 identical coasters, it was time for King's Dominion to get in on the stunt car fun. On October 12, 2005, they announced the Italian Job Turbo Coaster that would be coming to the park for May 27, 2006, replacing Diamond Falls, the Shoot the Chute ride in the Safari Village area. While it featured a different name, it was once again the exact same ride.
On Paramount. Paramount Parks. The only place thrills are paramount.
If there's one thing I know, it's never to mess with a theme park losing their rights to a ride. Change was coming. Paramount had sold its park division to Cedar Fair in May 2006, and thus the rights to the Italian Job along with it. The ride remained unchanged until the end of the 2007 season, and now, just like the remake of the movie, it would have barely anything to do with the Italian Job. The rides at each of the parks for the 2008 season will be going through a name change. It would now be known as the Backlot Stunt Coaster, and have some of the theming removed, linking it to the Italian Job. Some of these changes were the removal of all the details of the ride cars, trying to make them not look like Mini Coopers. Each train was now one colour instead of individual car colours. They also removed the car doors on the trains, so now they just felt like standard roller coaster trains. The water spray effects and the splashdown at the end of the ride was also removed. Music from the Italian Job was taken out and replaced by Ride of the Valkyries by Richard Wagner. The Backlot Stunt Coaster still had theming, but the helicopter scene was not quite as grand, and over years some of the effects sadly barely work at all. While the remake of the movie was not terrible, even if I still want to know if Wrench got more than 10k of the 27 million they stole. The ride, Italian Job Stunt Track, tried to do something different with an action movie and actually gave it a theme.
The helicopter and the police cars are you don't know what they're gonna do to you, and then they just start shooting at you, and it's just awesome.
I think it's a ride for everyone. It's a ride that anyone could ride.
The Italian Job is it's a great thrill ride for everyone of every age, from the littlest kid to the oldest grandfather or grandma that wants to come out here and ride it. Anyone can ride this ride and have a great time.
It's really fun.